What's happening?
How's the bumps and bruises, Davey, after last night?
Aye, boys are a wee bit tired, obviously, but aye, okay. We sent them, I put them away to a cryotherapy chamber today, so we had a cryotherapy session, eat 3 minutes in the cryotherapy, it goes to minus 190, which helps with the recovery process. Face masks were on, don't worry.
Could do with that on a Sunday morning, Davey, if it's a recovery session.
I could do it every morning.
Just looking ahead, Davey, it's Saturday. I'm just looking here. The difference last season in finances between finishing 5th and 6th was £120,000.
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be something similar.
70, I think it's 70 this year, Brian.
Is that because there's no sponsor?
No comment.
No, I mean, 5th place last year got 1.68 million.
No, we never. Remember, we got 250 grand taken off us.
Why was that?
Remember, what happened there? We had a massive reduction in fees, so I think everybody lost in the region of 12 to 15%.
All right. That's the official SPFL figures. Anyway,
maybe that was that. No, because we wouldn't have. What did you say it was, Brian? 1.6.
0.68 million.
1.68. So if we lost $250,000, that took us up to 1.93, and it definitely wasn't that in the figures.
Anyway, this week there is a financial stake at place, isn't there?
Yeah. It's about 70,000.
Does that make any difference at all? To the player? Do you give them a dangle a wee carrot in front of them?
It's been difficult, Brian. We've lost so much money. Like I've not really spoke to the board. Like at the start of the season, we never even had win bonuses because nobody knew when fans were coming back in. Nobody knew where the next bit of money was coming from, transfer money. So the Scottish Government things really helped us out. And part of the Scottish Government regulations for getting the money is it's not used to pay off historical debt, bonuses by players. So we need to be really careful with that. So the extra 70 grand, potentially the board might give me something to go to the boys, but it's not going to be a typical league finishing position. It's probably going to be termed a wee bit different this year, maybe a loyalty bonus, performance bonus, something along the lines, because it's just been such a difficult season, to be honest. It's been such a difficult season. So 3 points are at stake, and that's first and foremost. The motivator, Brian, probably know the financial implications, to be honest.
Are you surprised we've actually got to the end of a campaign?
Yeah, at points in the season, I'm not now, but at points in the season I am. When you're looking at it, you're going, oh God, I don't know where this is going to go. And fair play to the Scottish Government. I think there's been times in the season where I've been a bit of a critic myself, but fair play to the Scottish Government because they've allowed that to happen, and there's probably been a couple of occasions where we've been skating on thin ice, for want of a better word. And society's been in a lockdown, but Scottish football's been able to play its part. So, yeah, a wee bit of yes and no. Times there was a few occasions during the season. I didn't think it would happen, but I did have trepidations about it, to be honest.
Obviously, COVID struck again at St Johnstone. They've got their
I've heard, Brian. I don't really know. I remember looking at the semi-final squad and had 4 players out for the semi-final squad. They'll all return for the game on Saturday. We've actually had this at times throughout the season. The game after Aberdeen, we got hit with track and trace. We've had it a few times. Robbie coming back for Scotland 21s, and I thought we'd managed as a footballing association. I thought we'd managed to get away from COVID, to be honest, because it was quieting right down. So I feel for Callum because, well, let's be honest, I hope it impacts Saturday, but I hope it doesn't impact his season. And what I mean by that, it'd be really disappointing for St Johnstone as a football club if they're going to be missing some important players for a cup final.
Just go back to the finances. I know the government put this loan situation in. Is Livingston, I think a lot of the clubs have utilised that interest-free loan system that they were using.
Yeah, what's your question?
Is Livingston, are they one of the clubs that have used it?
Yeah, I said that earlier on. I said that if it wasn't for that money, I'm not sure where we would be right now. Because everybody had budgeted for London's money got us to a certain stage in the season. That just covered a black hole we've lost. There's a football club, John and Roberts, said it's roughly around £2.5 million. And then you add in the cost of COVID testing, we're up to £250,000 with that alone, and you're up to £250,000 in league money we never got, or well, it was taken from the pot. So that's £500,000 straight away before you even factor into top six. Last year we still had Aberdeen and Hearts to play at home before the top six. So we're up to £2.5 million in lost revenue.
Looking ahead to next season, then you'll be desperate to get fans back in the ground again, and I suppose for it to be viable for Livingston, you need these big gates, don't you?
Yeah, well, we've got a small season ticket base. Like, as the bigger clubs, Rangers and Celtic, are very fortunate that they're still selling 50,000 season tickets. Unfortunately, we were around 800 season ticket holders last year, and I do believe if fans weren't getting in the stadiums, I'm not so sure you would see the same return, because everybody else is in the same boat a further year down the line. So other people are living on furlough, maybe not working, maybe even made redundant. So I'm not even sure we'd have got the 800 season tickets this year. With it opening back up, hopefully very soon, or for the August league campaign at least, I think we'll be there or thereabouts in our season ticket sales, which is again in the region £250,000 to £300,000 to the club. That's just in season ticket sales alone, and then if you add in the away crowds, Brian, it's a lot of money that can come into the club. But it's just all that's going to do for the next year to 2 years. It's just going to pay off the money you borrowed for the Scottish Government.
And where are you with signings for next season, Davey? I know you've got a couple over the door.
Yeah, I've got a couple over the door. I've got a couple of options down south for Premier League clubs. So I'm actually actively pursuing them just now. And I've got a couple of other wee bits and bobs in the file. I think over the next maybe what gets Saturday out the road, Brian, I think we're going to probably get a wee bit more information in the next 7 days. I'm quietly confident. We're probably going to lose. I've worked it out in the region of 15 players this season. So this is going to be, I've had a tough time every season. We've lost big players every season, going from, we were in the league the first year. We kept the majority of the championship squad together, but then we lost a lot of players the second season. We lost a lot of players last season, but this is probably going to be the highest amount of players we're losing in terms of quantity. So there's at least 15 players that are probably going to be moving on for the club, and we'll be releasing a statement early next week about that. So I need to be really extra smart with my recruitment this year.
You going to get a break?
Don't think so. Try maybe. My wife is trying. You really want to try and get away somewhere sunny, and we were all the same. You're trying to get away a bit of sun, but where's open and how do you get there? Where's the flights? It's the logistics of it. We've been told, the JRG group's told us as a football club we can go and do a summer camp, which would be phenomenal. But again, how do you get there? The flights, it's not that easy nowadays. Whereas before we had the option of 10, 15 different flights to get to Portugal, get to Spain. It's not viable anymore. So hopefully society starts opening a wee bit more up from Monday onwards, and that maybe opens up the airports and the travel industry slightly. So hopefully get a break with the football club, and I'll do my best to get a break with the family if I'm honest. But when I'm away, Brian, I just work anyway. I'm not a drinker. I'll sit and drink cappuccinos under the umbrella with my laptop on, to be honest, and then dip in and out the pool with the wee one.
Right. Good luck Saturday, Davey, and I appreciate the season.
Cheers, Brian. Cheers.
Right.
Davey, you say you're losing 15 players. Will you have to cut the squad because of the financial situation as well?
Yeah, it's going to be a wee bit of both, to be honest. The squad had more depth because of COVID. So this is the highest numbers we've ran with from any season I've been in the Premier League because of COVID, because you were so aware of there was 20 now allowed in the team sheet. You were allowed 9 subs, but COVID could kick out 4 or 5 players. So we've always been a wee bit more squad heavy this season. So we've probably ran with about an extra 4 players in squad depth this season. But the majority is probably in the list or in the boys that are going to be made available. If we weren't in COVID times, there's probably 3 or 4 of their players that I'd have probably offered contracts to keep them next year, but I can't do it. I've got to be a wee bit smarter with the recruitment this year.
You think across Scottish football we'll maybe see more young players in the squads next season, just because the clubs are all in the same boat?
I think it's a hard one to gauge, isn't it? I think with Brexit now, even it's encouraging you to bring through more youth players anyway, other than COVID. So I can only really speak for Livingston. I don't know what other clubs have done squad-wise. I've generally had a squad of around 23, 24 players. So I've been quite heavy with my numbers originally. Normally I'll run on 20, 21, 22 players. So I don't know what other clubs have done, if they've increased their squad size. They may have not. You look at St Johnstone, I don't think St Johnstone's got a big squad, but they've got a half-decent reserve team to pick from that are the kids coming through on the reserve team. So we've not had that luxury. Our reserves haven't been playing football.
David, going into Saturday, does it help that you're not relying on other people? It's just a sort of straight shootout.
Yeah, it's another game of football that you're going to go and try win. Like, let's be honest, the last run of games we've had have been against the best teams in the country, the top four, for wanting a better word. That's who we've been playing. So it's nice to, I think it's a fair reflection to say that there's not a lot between ourselves and St Johnstone. So you're playing a team that's probably more around our level, if that makes sense. So it's good for either our point of view, and it's a chance to go and pick up 3 points on Saturday, and a chance of a wee bit of revenge also.
In terms of obviously St Johnstone and their sort of COVID issues, has it made it more difficult to predict what sort of team they'll put out?
No, I think Callum's got every single player at that club well drilled. I don't think that the personnel's going to change, but I don't think the information on the park will change, the style of play will change. So no, really. I think Callum's done a fantastic job. He's got a great group of players, and you can see they're well drilled. They've had a lot of continuity, and I think that's been absolutely huge in their campaign this season. I don't think they started the league very well, but Callum stuck to his guns, stuck to his style of play, and that's seen him stand in good stead for the rest of the season. So I don't think it will change too much.
You were talking about outgoing players there. I need to ask about Scott Tiffany. He's obviously he made a huge impact at Partick. He's out of contract, didn't he? What's the sort of situation?
Scott's been offered terms. So Scott's been offered terms. I spoke to Scott, spoke to his agent. There's a very, very good chance Scott will not be signing with Livingston Football Club, but Livingston will be due compensation. I do think that's the best scenario for everyone, if I'm honest. I think Tiff now, at the stage of Tiff's career, he needs to go out and be playing first team football every week. I think he's shown his capability when he's went to Partick Thistle. There's probably a very good chance he'll remain at Partick Thistle, but I have had a few calls from other clubs. But I'm delighted for wee Tiff. He's went out and done exactly what I wanted him to do for him personally. So yeah, we've offered terms, we're protected to compensation, so it's probably a good chance Tiff will not be at Livingston next year, but I'm actually really, really happy in that development. It's a win-win for everyone.
Late game last night, Davey, and then obviously early kick-off on Saturday. How tough is it towards the end of the season when the turnaround of these games are just quick?
It is difficult. We've had a couple of Saturdays off with the Scottish Cup quarter-final and semi-final. So we've managed to give the boys a few days off. So St Johnstone's schedule's been really hectic, to be honest, so we're in a better place. But the Wednesday, Saturday fixture, historically, it's really difficult energy levels and lethargy. And you've got to watch out for muscle injuries when you're going into these games, because obviously players are, personally, it's not enough time to recover for a game, to be honest. But that's why they were away to cryotherapy this morning.
As you say, there's still 3 points on offer on Saturday. How much is that, as you said earlier as well, the season has eventually, we are going to reach an end. How impressed have you just been for the duration of the season?
How impressed have I been with?
How impressed have you been with your side for the duration of the season?
I've been very honest with it, and I reflect on it. I think the first third of the season, I broke it down into 3 thirds, to be honest. The first third of the season was frustration because we were playing well and just falling the right side of games for us, falling the right side of the lines. It was very small margins in games, and we weren't falling on the right side of the margins. The middle third of the season was absolutely fantastic. We went on a fantastic run. and the last third of the season's been a wee bit disappointing, to be honest. I think we all feel that disappointment, but when the season ends, I think we'll all sit back and reflect and look back in hindsight and say what a fantastic season it's been. But you can't do that till you get the St Johnstone game over and done with. I think if we can finish fifth, that probably will hide a wee bit of that disappointment we've felt the last third. But if we go out and we finish sixth, I think that disappointment, there'll be a wee bit of disappointment in the season, as much as I think the boys do massive credit for taking us to a cup final and getting us into the top six.
Absolutely. Cheers, Davey. All the best.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers. Is that us?
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Davey. Cheers, pal.
How you doing?
Hey Josh, you all right?
Not bad, not bad.
All right.
So all coming down to Saturday's game then, is it good to have that shootout? You know what you've got to do?
I think it's exciting getting into the last game of the season with something still to play for. When I say exciting, obviously we're not trying to kind of maintain a Premiership status. We're kind of playing for fifth place, but obviously would have liked to have kind of had that wrapped up a few weeks ago, but the way the results have went lately, that's not to be. So we'll go into the last game of the season with everything still to play for.
I know things have been a bit difficult the last few weeks, but you'd have, if somebody had said to you at the start of the season, you know, win your last game, you finish fifth, you'd have probably taken that.
Definitely. I think even if anybody had offered the boys sixth place, top six, and then throw in a cup final, you'd have bitten your hand off for that. So it's been an excellent season, but it would be nice to kind of cement that, finish that off with a win on the final day to secure fifth and just kind of build that momentum for the start of next season.
I mean, there's been so many positive things about the season as well. It's important you finish it on a high and take that into the summer.
I think it is, because like you say, we've done so well for a massive period of the season. So we don't want to let it just fizzle out as if we've taken a foot off the gas. That's not the case at all. Just results haven't went our way. You need to remember we finished top six. We're playing the top teams in the league week in, week out now. So just kind of silly things, silly goals and stuff. It's not went our way. So we'll be looking to kind of finish the last game on a high, hopefully.
Josh, it's been a tough season. It's been a long season. How looking forward to you that it is eventually coming to this end?
I think if we're being honest, obviously it has been a long season. I think over the Christmas period, the amount of games that we were playing, we were Saturday, Wednesday for a long period of time. I wouldn't say I was looking forward to it coming to an end because, like I said, we've not had the best of results over the last few weeks. So you always want to put that right. So I think if we get a win on Saturday, we'll be able to enjoy that a wee bit more. Like I said, taking that momentum into next season, knowing that it's been good. So I think it all comes down to Saturday. If we could go there and pick up 3 points, then it will be a well-deserved break come next week.
Obviously, you guys have reached a cup final this season as well, so you know what that preparation's like going into that. Do you think you can maybe, catch St Johnstone at a good time? They'll obviously have an eye on that double.
I don't think there's probably any good time to play them because I think that you see their squad doesn't really change much. I think they've kind of got a main 12, 13 that's always the same team you're getting. And I'd imagine that everybody will be out to impress, want to kind of try and cement their place in the cup final. So you can either look at it two ways: do they take their foot off the gas and save themselves the cup final, or is everybody kind of playing for places for next week? So we know it'll be a tough task. We've been there already this season. We got a result, but I believe that day St Johnstone were very good. So I just think it comes down to who kind of wants to finish fifth the most on Saturday.
Josh, will you be glad to see the back of this season?
I don't know if I'll be glad to see the back yet. There's obviously things that I will be in terms of the kind of empty stadiums, because now it looks like we're starting to get the fans back in. So if it's a case of finishing up this week and having a break and knowing that we're coming back to fans and that, then yeah. But like I said, if we're kind of going to go out with the kind of results that we've had recently, then I would kind of want to keep going. But we'll just need to kind of take it as it comes on Saturday, regroup and look to go again at the start of next season.
I just wonder if it's maybe been, yes, it's always a physical drain playing these games, but mentally this season, it's also been a drain because of all the protocols that you've had to adhere to, the rigorous testing that's going on, washing your hands all the time, making sure when you leave the club that you've got to remember exactly your P's and Q's and where you go.
I think that's massive. I think that's probably a lot of it that people don't see. They just think that we're in work and we're working away as normal. It's totally different in here, whereas we're split up into groups. Everything's like a time, so you're just continuous. Like when you're doing like ice baths, food, like everything's like it's kind of regimental, so to speak. So it has been a wee bit mentally, but at the same time, the way that everything's getting ran here is very well ran and organised. So we've kind of not had to deal with much on that side, but kind of things like that, you're hoping by the time we're back next season's kind of quieting down a bit and we can start to get back to a wee bit of normality around about the training ground, even like you said, out from football, because everybody's got a life outside football, but just now we're kind of trying to do everything as best as we can away from the club as well, so we're not coming in and picking up a positive test. So kind of that stuff has been difficult. So like I said, hopefully by the time next season comes, we're back to a wee bit of normality.
Cinemas and bingo halls open from Monday. Where are you going to be?
I'll be at the bingo on Tuesday. I know it's cheap on a Tuesday. I'll be there on a Tuesday night. Don't worry about that. The bingo. Nah,
Are you joking?
What's that?
Are you joking?
No, I went a few times back when I was staying up in Inverness. I had nothing to do up there, so me and a few of the boys bingo on a Tuesday night, just for a wee get together. But now, hopefully, just stuff like that. Hopefully, get a few wee cinema trips and that. And with the missus, I'm obviously not going to get away in holiday this year like many others. So it'll just be kind of trying to do as much as possible while it's open, because let's be honest, we don't know if it's going to get shut again in a few weeks. So just try and make the most of it, my time off.
Oh, come on now, you've got to tell us about who was at the bingo with you, and who would you take to the bingo from Livingston?
At the bingo that night was me, Marcus Fraser, Brian Graham, Russell Dingwall and Tony Dingwall. That was the five of us there.
And you could only go on a Tuesday because it was cheap?
Nah, just because we were off the Wednesday, so we just thought we'll go to the bingo Tuesday night. There was I don't know the ins and outs of it, but let's just say Brian Graham, for example, he'd been a few times, so he knew the ins and outs, and it was 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. See you there. So that's it. I just turned up.
Anybody get a full house?
Nah, coasted a few times. It roped me in, but I never quite got there.
Brilliant, mate. Listen, have a good summer.
Thanks very much. Cheers to it.
Good luck.
Cheers.